Hi friends, host Eric here, host of Talking with Famous People, and I want to talk a little bit about some thoughts about the interview I had with Joe of Ghost of Jung, and things I noted that were interesting in the edit and such. Okay, so foremost, he really hit me in the polar with that question, which of the types do I like the best? The fact is, having thought about it, and being an SI type, I don't like that way. I like individual people, and I like people of individuals of a lot of types. It would have been a more answerable question for me if he had asked it, what individuals of specific types do you like best? The people I like best run the gamut of types. You know, they don't necessarily include every type, but I can think I like Dulles a lot. I like horse mumblers and IHPs in my life, and I just totally forgot about him. It's like he really hit me in my polar there. ISFJs. I love Oliver Linehan. He's an ISFJ. And Ruben, he's an ENFJ. I love him. It's like these things run the gamut of types. My friend Cameron's an ISTJ. He's fantastic. My dad is. I couldn't love or respect a man any more than I love and respect my dad, and he's an ESTJ. So it's like, now granted, I don't love hanging out with him a lot. I try to, and I try to be as good a son as I can. But you might say, well, that's because he's an ESTJ, and it's a typological thing. But for me, as an SI type, particularist factors come more into play. So the question was framed by an NI Dom, and I answered it as an NE Dom, which is on an intuition level, on this sort of universality level, right? But the fact is, I don't live it that way at all. I don't like types. I like people. And that's all there is to it. And if I didn't name you here and I like you a lot, Winston's mom, obviously, fantastic. Lady Lou, I could name a bunch of people, right? I like Dark Sunshine a lot. Now, but then if I start naming a bunch of people that I like to hang out with, then it starts like piling up certain types over others. I forget people and stuff like that, and it's like this is where FI and FE get all tangled up, and I'm like, oh, Eric, you stepped in a landmine there. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say about that. The other thing I wanted to point out here is he did a little tricky edit in his video, which is fine. I don't really care because I accept the truth of it either way. Right? He made it sound as though I were attributing gratitude to my dad at the end and to ESTJs accordingly for being so helpful and useful to Rachel, which is not untrue. Okay, I affirm that statement as well, but that's not the statement I made at all. The statement I made was about Rachel's dad and ENFPs. But he concluded, and we both agreed, that this is probably an anomalous situation to me and my circumstances, and not universally so about ENFPs and ENTPs, the conclusions we drew about it. So he just edited it to make it sound like the end part was about the ESTJs and my dad. But it wasn't at all, okay? Just to be clear about that. So there's a little tricky editing there. And I assume that he thought, because I would affirm it either way, that it wouldn't cause a TI problem. But I'm TI operational value. I object to the process, sort of. Not in any big sense, I don't really care. But, because I have the chance to clarify. But that's pretty shady business, okay? It's like, you can't, in debate, you can't edit between the ellipses. So, you can begin somewhere other than the beginning of the sentence. You can end somewhere other than the end of the sentence, but you can't edit in between. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that. So that was my thought. That was a lot of fun, that interview, by the way. And he did a good job of editing it, I think. He edited it out. But interestingly, appropriately for his type, he edited out all the personal shit. he left a little bit about stuff about me not drinking, but the stuff that didn't universalize well to everybody. That may have been interesting from a viewer's perspective if they were into personal shit, which means they would probably be an SI type more likely, or an FE type. I'm not really sure about that. Scratch that last statement. But anyway, I don't have any conclusions to draw about that. Anyway, yeah. So I found it a well edited, good video to watch. I like the way he edited it, but I think it's worth noting that he edited out the kind of stuff that might be interesting to somebody who watches like The Real Housewives or something. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.